Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2024 Oneida County State of the County Address at Turning Stone Resort Casino. Today's event will begin with the joint presentation of colors by the Oneida County Sheriff's Honor Guard and the Oneida Indian Nation Police Department Honor Guard. Please stand for the presentation of colors. At this time, the Pledge of Allegiance will be delivered by Army veteran and Oneida Indian Nation Police Department Lieutenant Patrick Dodge.
Present arms.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Arms. Right. Face. Forward. March.
Thank you, Lieutenant Dodge. Please be seated. Our invocation today will be given by Father Joseph Salerno, who served at Mary, Mother of Our Savior Parish, formerly Our Lady of Lourdes Church in Utica, for more than 2 decades.
Good afternoon, everyone. I will try to make sure that you can hear me, even if you might not be able to see me. But I think I stand a chance at this podium. So if you would join with me and with each other in prayer. Lord, we call upon your presence among us and ask your blessing upon this day and the many and varied people of Oneida County. We ask your blessing not only upon this day, but upon our future, that it may be filled with continued peace and prosperity, with justice and integrity for all who live here and all who will come here seeking a better life. Give to our elected officials and those beyond our elected officials who are leaders among us a spirit of collaboration. Grant them wisdom, courage, and strength in all that they do and the decisions that they will make. Beyond ourselves, grant peace to the human family as we pray for the cessation of war, of violence, of hatred, of poverty, of division. Unite us in mutual respect and integrity. In your name we pray, for you are the God of all of us. Amen.
Thank you, Father Salerno. Now please turn your attention to the screens at the front of the room for a brief video presentation.
Our history has been made by people who pursued their dreams. Native people from many tribal nations create dream catchers for this reason. The dream catchers attract good dreams so that they may become real in the dreamer's waking life. The success of Oneida County has been brought to life in the same way.
My vision for the county when I first stepped into this office was to make it as relevant as it could be, and to make Oneida County the forefront of progress and of innovation. And I really thought that we could grow what we had, the seeds that had been planted, some of the things that we had been working on, nanotechnology, tourism, all types of economic activity, but also strengthening the county financial situation so we could do more, and so that we could build more, and so that we could have more people stay here, live here, work here, play here.
I always had a dream of actually coming back and bringing an American Hockey League team back here, even while I was playing. I believed in renovating the Adirondack Bank Center. I believed there was more to downtown Utica and Oneida County that existed.
Oneida County has great people. They had a great work ethic. They have a great belief in quality of life. They have a great belief in just community. And they had loss, though. They had loss with a lot of jobs, a lot of issues that had hampered them over the years. The loss of manufacturing, the loss of Griffiths Air Force Base, the loss of just the population at times. But there was a spirit there. There was a will to grow and not to give up.
While leaders in government, businesses, and local communities had many dreams, they all originated from a single source, a desire to create a brighter future together.
And I think that's what makes our community such a great place, because people are not afraid to come together and work together. You know, we have our challenges like every other place, but we always had that honesty of, you know, getting past the challenges we might have and sitting at the table and figuring out how to get past those challenges.
One person, one government, one entity cannot do this alone. The growth of this community is based on partnerships, and it's based on people working together.
The power of these partnerships was made clear with the 2013 agreement between the Oneida Indian Nation, New York State, and Oneida and Madison counties. This historic agreement has generated hundreds of millions of dollars for local communities, supporting infrastructure, education, public safety, healthcare, and more, and created a new era of unprecedented growth and economic prosperity.
Because of the bonds we have forged over the past decade, we are succeeding in making a shining example of what can happen when Indian nations and their surrounding counties are committed to finding common ground. These 10 years have been a period of unrivaled cooperation and growth.
And I think that sports and entertainment in our area has a lot more room for growth. And I feel like we're also the leader in a lot of ways and a lot of aspects in upstate in what we're doing. And I think the more that we lean into it, we end up being, you know, the thing that everybody's chasing.
Anything's on the table, and anything is willing to be looked at. It's about everybody putting a little skin in the game and coming together to say, let's work this out. Let's figure out how we can get this done.
Earlier this year, Oneida County lost one of its most dedicated dreamers and greatest advocates for partnerships, Steve DeMeo. Steve devoted his career to bringing dreams for Oneida County to life, his own and the dreams of many others, and his vision will continue to shape the future for generations to come.
We worked together constantly. He was the consummate professional. He had a love for this community and really a brilliant mind to get things done.
And it was Steve's tenaciousness that brought people along, and he was able to, paint the vision.
Perseverance, you work through the obstacles. Don't ever take no as an answer. Keep moving forward and be aggressive in promoting plans that will help build prosperity for the region, no matter what.
Perseverance, tenacity, hard work, partnership. Through an unwavering commitment to the success of Oneida County, countless leaders have come together to make their dream real. Today, we are living that dream in a county where communities thrive, businesses grow, good jobs are plentiful, and there is boundless opportunity for all who live and work here.
If we're going to do this, we're going to do it at 200%, not 100%. We don't rest on our laurels. We don't stop once one piece is done and say, okay, we're good for a while. We keep moving. It's important to me, and it's important to the people that I work with. When you look around the country and you say, we did that in Oneida County, we did that in Utica, New York, and if we could do that, and if we could do the other things that we've done over the years, there's no limit to what we can do. We can do anything, and we will. We've got some things up our sleeve. We're not going to stop, and the best is yet to come.
Please welcome Turning Stone Enterprises team members and Oneida County residents Lori Clark and Michelle DeCaro.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the 2024 State of the County Address at Turning Stone Resort and Casino. My name is Lori Clark, and my colleague Michelle DeCaro and I couldn't be more excited to welcome everyone here this afternoon. It is such an honor to represent the thousands of Oneida County residents and their families who are part of the Turning Stone Enterprises team, and all of our team members that work in Oneida County. There's something truly special about being part of a community like this and working for an organization that is so committed to the success of Oneida County. While I haven't been a part of this community for as long as many of my coworkers, I have loved it since I moved here in 2022. I relocated to Oneida County and Vernon Center specifically for a job with Oneida Innovations Group as the Director of Information Security. The welcome I received from the local community and Oneida County has been incredible. People are friendly and have made me feel right at home. We are also surrounded by amazing natural beauty and so many things to do. In the past 2 years, I've taken part in both the Delta Lake Triathlon and the Boilermaker Road Race. I have enjoyed plenty of hiking and fostered my love of reading through my Oneida County Library System membership. The county library system is truly a hidden gem in our community. In addition to feeling right at home, there's also a lot of excitement in Oneida County about the growth happening here. In just the last 2 years, I've seen so much being built by the Oneida Indian Nation and many others. New industries are growing, and Oneida County is building on our reputation as a leader in tourism and technology. That is especially exciting for someone like me, who has built my career in information security. It's clear that Oneida County is poised for even bigger things to come, bringing more new people, new organizations, and new opportunities for everyone. Thank you very much. It is now my pleasure to turn it over to Michelle.
Good afternoon. I have called Oneida County home for most of my life. So while I too am overwhelmed by all the progress we are experiencing, I also know how much it means because of how far we have all come together. I grew up in Rome and remember the prosperity and booming population that defined the area during my childhood. We had thriving manufacturing and Griffiths Air Force Base to provide good jobs and bring new people to the area. And then those things changed seemingly overnight. Some of my high school friends moved away because their parents couldn't find work. I left for college, assuming that I would move away as well after earning my degree. Thanks to the efforts of leaders like County Executive Picente and Oneida Indian Nation Representative Ray Halbritter, things are very different in Oneida County today. I returned to the area for a job as a table games dealer at Turning Stone in 2000 because I knew the nation and its partners were leading a revitalization of the area. Because of the efforts of so many great leaders, I was able to find rewarding work where I grew up. That meant my husband and I could raise our daughters in Rome, a community we knew was safe for them, where family was close by, and we could all enjoy the outdoors together. I've found boundless opportunities in my career here at Turning Stone as well. Since joining the team, I've been promoted several times and have seen this organization grow in unbelievable ways. I've also seen an amazing resurgence in Oneida County since moving back. New businesses are coming here. New industries are growing, and we are seeing more and more people like Lori moving into the area to be part of it all. All of this has been made possible because we are truly a community in every sense. Oneida County is a place where people work hard together for the benefit of all. No one embodies this better than our county executive, Anthony Picente, and Oneida Indian Nation representative and Turning Stone Enterprises CEO, Ray Halbritter. They have set a strong example for our entire community that shows working together toward a shared goal creates something wonderful for everyone. At this time, it is my honor to introduce Oneida Indian Nation representative and Turning Stone Enterprises CEO, Ray Halbritter.
Thank you, Michelle and Lori, for that very kind and generous introduction. And thank you for all you do for the Oneida Indian Nation and Oneida County. I've got to say that one of the things I really love about Oneida County is their seal. As you can see the resemblance. But Seguli, that's our greetings. It's my pleasure to welcome Oneida County Executive Tony Picente and everyone gathered here to the ancestral homelands of the Oneida people and Turning Stone Resort Casino. Once again for the 2024 Oneida County State of the County Address. This is the second time the county executive has delivered the State of the County Address at Turning Stone. And to our knowledge, only the second time a gathering like this has been held on sovereign tribal lands. That is a testament to the strength of the partnership and collaboration between Oneida County and the Oneida Indian Nation. A partnership that Tony has been most instrumental in creating. Partnerships like this are paramount to the Oneida people. When the first settlers arrived here in the early 1600s, our ancestors greeted them, sought to establish them with a partnership of respectful equals that was symbolized by the Geswanta, otherwise known as the two-row wampum, two parallel lines of purple beads run the length of the wampum belt and represent two boats traveling along in the same river. These vessels would travel side by side, neither one trying to steer or control the other. Instead, each would set its own course and they would coexist in peace together. The relationship between Oneida County and the Oneida Indian Nation is so strong today because it is grounded in the principle of the two-row wampum in partnership. Even now we see to maintain this separation in recognition of the Oneida Nation's sovereignty. Our governments work together respectfully and in the best interest of our people and our communities, setting our goals and determining how to achieve them. While we travel our parallel paths, we find opportunities to work alongside each other in partnership for the common good. This spirit of partnership has come to define Oneida County and this region. Tribal nations and local and county governments come together with business leaders, economic development organizations, community groups, and other stakeholders to make incredible things happen here. Partnership has created a level of success we could not have imagined just a few decades ago, when economic hardships and the loss of major employers left us to reimagine a better future together. The journey to this future has brought us to a remarkably exciting time for the Oneida Indian Nation, our team members, and all of Oneida County. As you arrived today, you might have noticed the construction vehicles outside. All of this work is part of Turning Stone Evolution. It's the largest expansion of our resort in 2 decades. It's a $370 million reinvestment in our enterprises that will generate a total economic impact exceeding $600 million, including more than $20 million in state and local tax revenues. It will also support the creation of 3,600 total construction and related jobs throughout this region. The evolution will double our existing convention space. It will add a new hotel tower. It will create gorgeous new outdoor spaces for weddings, receptions, and many, many other events. And to support this, we will build a second parking garage that will be able to host an additional 1,500 cars, along with other amenities. With these spectacular new facilities, we will extend our marketing reach for major events and other business and leisure travel throughout the county, bringing new visitors from across the United States to experience everything Oneida County has to offer. Yet it is more than the expansion of the resort and the creation of new amenities that make this growth and all of the Oneida Indian Nation's growth so special. It is everything this evolution will create for people like Michelle, who introduced me earlier and welcomed you all here today. While she once assumed she would need to leave her home behind to make a good life and raise a family, she was able to return here to grow her career, and today is one of our standard leaders at Turning Stone. And the evolution will create more opportunities for people like Lori, who also welcomed you here today. Lori moved here from Kentucky in 2022 because of all the new career opportunities our growth is creating. Lori is in charge of our cybersecurity here, ensuring that all of Turning Stone Enterprises is protected from hacks and attacks that threaten successful workplaces like ours. So she's pretty busy. Michelle and Lori encompass what growth is really all about. It creates new opportunities for our current team members and many more Oneida County residents to do exactly what they have done: return to the place they grew up or move here to establish a rewarding career, raise a family, and make their life in a community they love. When Turning Stone opened in 1993, it had a transformative impact on Oneida County. The resort created new jobs, sparked a now thriving tourism economy, and supported new opportunities for local businesses. This evolution will be transformative in the same way. Transformation of this kind is happening throughout Oneida County. We've become an environment where a rising tide raises all boats with a thriving tourism industry, the development of flourishing technology sector, the growth of new businesses, and an influx of new residents. Expanded access to world-class healthcare with the creation of the new Wynn Hospital, more sporting events, and other entertainment with Turning Stone, the Adirondack Bank Center, and the Nexus Center, just to name a few. All of this growth and the partnerships that made it possible have been sustained by strong leadership. Great leaders are people who put actions behind their words, and this describes no one better than County Executive Picente. Through bold ideas and bolder action, Tony has given Oneida County something invaluable: safety. His leadership has increased economic safety and public safety, but also created something more. It instills confidence that this is a safe place to raise a family, to make a home, to build a career and work toward a bright future. He has been a tireless advocate for the success of Oneida County and a tremendous leader for this entire region. Please join me now in welcoming our good friend, my good friend, Oneida County Executive Tony Picente.
Thank you. Thank you, Ray. Good afternoon. Let me begin today, please, if you would join me, in acknowledging, in a moment of silence, and acknowledging the loss of Onondaga County Sheriff Lieutenant Michael Husak and Syracuse police officer and Oneida County native Michael Jensen. They made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty on April 14th, and I ask that we take a moment of silence to honor them, their families, and all of our law enforcement and first responders who continue to keep our communities safe. Thank you. If you will indulge me a little bit, I want to acknowledge some of the partners and friends and elected officials that are joining me here today as I get into some of what we have accomplished. But I do want to acknowledge some great partnerships that I have, or people that I have the pleasure of serving with. Senator Joseph Griffo, please give him a round of applause. Members of the Assembly that are here today, great friends, Assemblywoman Mary Ann Buttonshine. Mary Ann, thank you. Great friend, former legislator, now in the State Assembly, Brian Miller. Brian, thank you. And another good friend who represents part of Oneida County and other districts, a good friend, Robert Smolin. Robert, thank you. I also want to acknowledge, another good friend and someone who has served us well, and even in her retirement, former Commissioner and Assemblywoman Roanne DeStito is with us today. Thank you. As I was looking back and preparing for this year's address, I can tell you that a lot has changed since I first gave one of these. Many innovative projects and initiatives have moved this community forward, bringing new opportunities while being presented with new challenges. We also must face national societal issues that we must tackle head on. But the success of Oneida County wouldn't be possible without those who push this government to new heights. And I want to recognize the unbelievable commitment, first, and dedication of all of our county government employees, my department heads, and all who carry out our mission with professionalism and skill, the best government workforce in the state. My senior staff, please give them a round of applause. I have been fortunate to work with a great board of legislators, and I want to thank them for their partnership, many of whom are here with us today, and especially a great friend and partner for all these years, Board Chairman Gerald Fiorini. Thank you. I also have a couple new people that we're working with in the last few years. Our new district attorney, Todd Carville. Todd. Our new controller, Anessa Carbone. I know Anessa is somewhere. Please give her a round of applause. And our county clerk, Mary Finnegan. Mary, thank you. I'd also like to thank Sheriff Maceo, who could not be here because his daughter is graduating from Utica University today. So please give the sheriff a round of applause. And not a new partner, because we've worked together very closely over the years, but he is new in his role, Mayor Michael Galimi of the City of Utica. Mayor, thank you. And I would also like to acknowledge Mayor Jeff Lanigan. I know Jeff was going to try and be here, and please give him a round of applause as well. And I'd like to thank all the other elected officials who have joined us from towns, villages, and the cities. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your partnership. It's vital to all of us. To my family and who are here with me today, first of all, my two sisters who are here, Ann and Kathy. I want to thank them for always being by my side and with us constantly. And Ray, they're hoping for a short speech so they can get back out into the room there in the other side. And my cousin Nora is with us too on the end. And of course, the foundation of everything I do, my wife Eleanor. Thank you. Thanks especially to the Sheriff's Office and the Oneida Nation Police for their Honor Guard presentation today. Thank you, and please give them a round of applause for their service. And a special thank you to a dear friend for I don't know how many years, Father Joseph Salerno, who, I always say that we call on him so often, especially in times of need and trouble, but he is one of the greatest representatives of this community and the clergy, and his service to this community is second to none. God bless you, and thank you, Father. And of course, last but certainly not least at all, a great partner and a great friend. Thank you to Nation Representative and Turning Stone Chief Enterprises Chief Executive Officer Ray Halberter. And thank you for hosting us here today. Cementing our partnership with our historic agreement now past its 10-year anniversary has been a benefit to the whole region. In addition, our personal friendship, which goes back beyond the 10 years, is something that means a great deal to me. Ray, thank you for your leadership. Please give my great friend a round of applause. You already heard him talk a little bit about it. Under Ray's leadership, Turning Stone is undergoing an evolution, a transformational opportunity for this entire region. $600 million ultimately in the impact in private investment. Our historic agreement paved the way for this unprecedented venture. Hotels, restaurants, convention space, healthcare facilities, and so much more. Our tradespeople are going to build it, our residents will work here, and visitors from all over the world will come here. The positive long-term impact is immeasurable. The Nation and Turning Stone Enterprises continue to be the very best at what they do. And I would like to thank Lori and Michelle for those wonderful words and really highlighting what it means to work and live and play in Oneida County. Thank you very much. And of course, as you watched the video today and as we talk about partners, I must mention someone who's not here today. We were the closest of partners. He was a giant in the field of economic development. He was a pillar of our community and my friend for over 40 years, and that's Steve DeMille. As you know, we lost Steve on March the 6th. Many of the projects we see throughout this community have Steve's fingerprints all over them, especially the Marcy Nano Center and the Griffiths Business and Technology Park. Steve was a tireless advocate for this community. As I said, he was brilliant. His vision and legendary work ethic have been and will remain a cornerstone of the organization he led from its inception, the Mohawk Valley Edge. Will you please join me in welcoming his wife Diane, their children, and the Edge staff that are here today. Thank you. What the Griffiths Business and Technology Park has grown into since 1995 is a shining example of Steve's mind and how it worked. He could see what it would become, but he also knew how to make it a reality. I'm truly honored to announce that going forward, it will now be known as the Griffiths Business and Technology Park at the Stephen J. DeMille campus. Mohawk Valley Edge continues to be a thriving economic development agency arm for the county, and we will work with them as they transition through this unexpected and tragic loss. During a radio interview on Keeler in the Morning a few weeks back, I was having a discussion about where we are as a community. The fact is, this county continues to see decades of work come to fruition in ways in rapid succession, in big ways. Wolfspeed, Wynn Hospital, UAS, Nexus, and Turning Stone's evolution. And just last month, the Women's World Hockey Championship was here in Oneida County. How does Oneida County beat out huge markets like Chicago and world-famous hockey towns like Lake Placid? To be chosen the very first time we bid, I'll tell you how. It's because we have great partnerships, great facilities, and a community willing to embrace all that comes with hosting this type of event. Our partners, it starts here, Oneida Indian Nation and Turning Stone Enterprise. To be a host, all 10 international hockey teams with roughly 35 people per team have to stay under the same roof during the 12-day tournament. That could only happen here, a world-class resort and casino and our premier destination. The feedback on the hospitality they received has been amazing. Rob Esch, and I know he's hiding somewhere out there. Right, Rob? Yeah. And Rob Esch, the Mohawk Valley Garden, the Upper Mohawk Valley Auditorium Authority, they have taken this historic arena, plus the Utica University Nexus Center, and done something remarkable. They went after this tournament. They had the knowledge and wherewithal for the IIHF and the USA Hockey to look our way, and then they executed a great tournament. Please give him a round of applause for that. We can't do these things without other partners, and obviously we needed our Sheriff's Office and the Utica Police Department. A tournament of this size requires around-the-clock law enforcement protection. To Sheriff Maciel, to Mayor Galimi, and Chief Williams, they were there every step of the way. The deputies and the officers did an outstanding job, and I thank them for their leadership. Thank you, Mayor. And I always joke about this when we talk about it, because Rob called me at first and said, well, we're going to put this in, but we won't get it. And then he called me and said, well, we got it. And he knew that they could handle the inside of the venue, but together we wanted to put on a show outside of the venue as well. And I asked the Board of Legislators, and they agreed to support the tournament with $2 million in funding. Banners, music, the marketing, all done with those funds. The World Championship Village, all done with those funds, and we put on a great show. And to borrow a baseball term for a hockey tournament, we hit a home run. And the facilities, you've heard about Adirondack Bank Center, you've seen what happened years ago. 12 years ago, Rob approached us about bringing the Comets here. To make it a reality, we needed to completely renovate what would become the Adirondack Bank Center. The county, working with the state, secured $20 million in funding with our partners in state government, like Senator Griffo. And today we have one of the best arenas of our size in the country, and the Comets are still selling out. The Utica University Nexus Center, a few short years ago, in this very address, we talked about creating the U District. The next step after the YAWD was a facility that would allow us to host tournaments-based sporting events. Today, we have a $70 million facility that is attracting people from all over the nation for youth hockey, soccer, lacrosse tournaments, and has made events like the Women's Worlds possible. But the biggest partner, the community, the numerous businesses who help sponsor this event, Oneida County Tourism and the Greater Utica Chamber of Commerce, the schools, sponsored by local businesses and the county, that packed the day games with over 6,000 students who were given the opportunity to see world-class hockey in a world-class facility. And finally, and most importantly, our residents, who came out to embrace this event with open arms, support for Team USA, and show the world what we are capable of. The results are in. More tickets sold than any women's world championship ever. We broke the Adirondack Bank Center's modern-day attendance record twice over that time. And every single person that I spoke to, yes, you can applaud me. And every single person that I talked to over and over again told us what an unbelievable 2 weeks it had been and how this was their most successful tournament to date. A few years ago, when I was given this speech, we talked about Nexus as a signature project for the U District. This is exactly what we had in mind. We know Nexus will be routinely packed in the months ahead. But here's even more good news. In September, we're back on the global stage with the World Lacrosse Box Championships right here in Oneida County. 48 teams, 9 days, the best players in the world. I have no doubt this will be another top-tier event. Lacrosse holds a special place for the Oneida Indian Nation, and some of the games will be played on nation land, honoring the tradition of this sport in Native American culture. We continue to prove there is nothing we can't accomplish here. We have seen it with Nexus, and we must build on that, so stay tuned. At my request, the Board of Legislators approved a capital project for Donovan Stadium and Murnane Field. Everybody knows how much I love baseball, right, Diane? And so we have to invest in our baseball facility. This will allow us to increase capacity, have more tournaments, and more fans enjoying this venue. We will put a turf on that field so that we can do that. This region also needed a better healthcare system on many fronts. Our partners, the Oneida Indian Nation and Upstate University Hospital, opened the Upstate Cancer Center in Verona, and will soon be putting an urgent care facility right here on this property, along with Rome Health. And we are joined today by the Rome Health CEO, Anne-Marie Sis, and the doctor that will head up this, Dr. Olivia Andretti. I know they're out there. Please wave, give us a wave. Thank you. I said we were going to lead on this issue, and with the Board of Legislators we have. Just this past October, a state-of-the-art medical facility, the first new hospital to be built in New York State in decades, our own Wynn Hospital opened its doors. This is a facility for the next 100 years. Without it, we would have crippled our ability to grow as a region, and if it doesn't snow in June, the county parking garage should open up sometime after that. So we will get there with that. We didn't stop there. We have invested $3 million into Rome Health, assisting them in creating a new women's surgical suite. We invested in CFLR to expand their substance use disorder services in Camden. We created a new county system of care to connect families with home-based services, family and youth peer support, parenting education, mental health and substance use services. We launched a program to prevent veteran suicides. There is more to do, and we'll continue to build on these services. We cannot stop looking for ways to improve our system of health care and the services available in this community. SUNY Upstate Medical University has an Air Upstate UAS program. The program specializes in health care drone delivery. The testing required to grow and enable this program starts with the UAS test site at Griffiths International Airport, one of only 7 FAA designated test sites in the country. It is because of our test site and our testing corridor that SUNY Upstate, MDHS, and Rome Health will be able to develop an on-demand system for the efficient and safe transport of time-sensitive materials, drugs, blood products, and lab samples. This will reduce the time it takes to provide quality care in our most rural communities. Our Oneida County Opioid Task Force continues its work. We are committed to harm reduction and erasing the stigma surrounding substance use disorder. These strategies save lives and give time for people to get the help they need. This past year, we conducted a series of overdose fatality reviews to assist us in identifying and understanding gaps and weaknesses in our systems that we can improve upon. A cross-case analysis has been completed, and in the coming weeks, we will release the full report. But for now, here's a sample of what we will do. First, we'll develop a system for law enforcement to note risk factors with individuals they encounter and refer them directly to an agency or a program. We will change how someone is escalated to next-level outreach and intervention services. We will create a way for loved ones to report concerns or observations anonymously. And we will invest in training for care coordinators as a single point of contact for at-risk individuals to navigate this system. Now in Albany, instead of addressing real issues, they're passing bills like good cause eviction, which limits when and how a tenant can be evicted. I always thought that we had enough rules on that. You don't pay your rent, destroy or do illegal things in the residence, you get evicted. But apparently not. By the way, to all villages, towns, and cities. Thankfully, that law only takes effect if you choose to opt in. I can't imagine why anyone would ever choose to do that, and I strongly encourage you not to. Look, we are here to solve real issues to the best of our ability. That is why I've implemented 2 executive orders to protect this community from a paralyzed immigration system and a broken border. The orders prevent the busing of migrants into Oneida County and prevents New York City's attempt at an end run with its homeless population. Recently, I was part of a National Association of Counties delegation that visited the border in El Paso, Texas, and what I saw was staggering. The sheer number of people coming into the country through legal and illegal places of entry is unsustainable. The processing of these individuals is fatally flawed and, quite frankly, dangerous. The ability of our dedicated Border Patrol and Homeland Security personnel, who are doing a remarkable job while faced with unprecedented circumstances, to handle this deluge of people has been stunted by inaction in Washington. It would be dereliction of my duty to this community to remove those executive orders until some form of real progress is made, whether in Washington to secure the border and fix the process, or in Albany to end absurd policies like sanctuary cities that have no basis in law or reality. Adding to the absurdity is the fact that $2.4 billion has been included in this year's state budget to deal with the migrant crisis. There are so many better ways that money could be used to impact the lives of people who live in this state. While billions with a B are going to deal with the influx of migrants into New York City, the rest of the state is left to deal with a mental health crisis. What did the governor allocate in her budget towards mental health services? Just $33 million. And most of that is shifting old money to new priorities. I will never understand how this does not receive more attention and dollars from Albany. We don't have enough mental health services. We don't have enough mental health beds. We don't have enough mental health workers. And the results continue to be catastrophic. Homelessness, substance use, mental health issues in our children are all because of a broken mental health system. We must do more. We are going to strengthen mental health services in our schools by expanding mental health telemedicine. We will create a program to make rapid referrals, and with our districts, we will create mental health clinics for their students. We will collaborate with our agency partners to establish crisis residence centers. These voluntary short-term stay facilities serve as an alternative to hospitalization by evaluating and stabilizing those in crisis and linking them to additional services. We will continue to work with our partners at UCP to bring online a stabilization center that is currently stuck in a New York State-created red tape nightmare. And finally, we need more mental health workers. We must create a workforce pipeline. We will look at all options: training, internships, residencies, increased rotations, and fast-track educational programs. We cannot just continue to say there isn't enough. We must change the trajectory, and it starts today. Yet another national issue having an impact in Oneida County is the availability of child care for working parents. Throughout 2023, the Oneida County Child Care Task Force, comprised of approximately 20 separate agencies and over 40 members, worked through a variety of subcommittees to present to me a series of solutions to alleviate this problem for our families. 3 strategies were developed, 8 recommendations with 24 separate action items. The report will be publicly available in the coming days, but I'll touch on a few highlights. Our strategies are to improve child care worker employment, training, and retention. We want to expand child care capacity and identify and eliminate barriers to accessing child care. How will we do this? We'll create an alternative workforce pipeline in the field of child care, hire child care community navigators, and have county funds pay for family daycare startup costs. We also invite state regulators, our legislators, and other state policymakers to a child care management simulator so they can see exactly how the laws and regulations that they put in place make it nearly impossible for these agencies. I thank the task force for their dedication and hard work putting these recommendations together, and we are working on their implementation as we speak. Another issue, food insecurity. Food insecurity continues to be a reality for too many in this nation and in this community. Here in Oneida County, as I say, it is no different. Ask yourself, have you ever been hungry? And not because you're late for a meal and your stomach is grumbling, but because you can't remember the last time you ate and you don't know where your next meal is coming from. The answer is no. We likely will never know that intense fear of lacking a basic necessity. Unfortunately, there are many families, seniors, and children in this community who know that feeling all too well. Imagine being a child stricken with hunger and uncertainty and trying to learn in school. It'd be impossible to concentrate, which makes it impossible to succeed. Meanwhile, there's excess food from banquet halls, grocery stores, and restaurants that never makes it to the table. We can harness technology for very little cost and connect those that have extra food with those who need it. There are apps that flag locations that want to donate extra food and coordinate its delivery to food banks, religious organizations, and shelters so it can go into the mouths of those who are hungry instead of going to waste. We will fund the use of one of these apps to organize a better response to this ongoing problem. Now, in the past, I've talked about how economic development and how important it is to our growth, and that remains true. You have seen it in the video, you've heard it from people. We've had unbelievable successes in high-tech industry, especially in the semiconductor field. Oneida County semiconductor industry currently employs over 2,100 people. The Innovari Advancement Center continues to be a conduit for cutting-edge quantum computing research and development. SkyDome and our FAA-designated UAS test site lead the way nationally in drone technology. In conjunction with these efforts, AFRL has secured over $400 million in funding to research quantum technology, cybersecurity, and counter unmanned aerial systems. We will build on these successes. We are investing $2 million with our partners at EDGE in creating flex space at the Marcy site, aimed at supply chain businesses that are essential to our growing semiconductor industry. We have been awarded $23 million from the state of New York for the Triangle site at Griffiths International Airport to create a first-of-its-kind high-tech supply chain campus to be the home of companies that can support Wolfspeed, Danfoss, Micron, and so many others, as well as AFRL, Innovari, and others. The Triangle development is critical to Rome and Oneida County's future. For Rome, see how I got that in there? For Rome, one way to think about the future is connecting something from the past. I've lived in Rome for a long time, as everyone knows, after my wife, a lifelong Roman, convinced this East Utica to move out there. In that time, I've heard over and over about Fort Stanwix, which is in the middle of the downtown corridor. A legacy of mid-70s federal urban renewal projects, the fort has always been simultaneously a point of pride and derision. I believe it's time for the county and the city to engage with the National Park Service to reinvigorate the monument, build on what it does well, and create new opportunities to make this the tourism attraction it should be. New programming, more events, and more reasons to be there on a daily basis. I spoke with Mayor Lanigan, and he joins me in this endeavor. Meanwhile, I also believe we have to solve the cause for much of the ire world that's Fort Stanwix. The structure divides downtown Rome, hindering traditional Main Street development. I think the time has come to reestablish the street grid. Now, what that will look like will take time and discussion, but it must be remedied. When the fort was first proposed, there was a retail and entertainment development plan that was supposed to surround it. The plan called for stores and other amenities. That never happened. We need a development approach to the space surrounding the fort that looks to accomplish what was originally intended 50 years ago. It should be something that complements the fort and attracts visitors. Fort Stanwix can be rejuvenated by physical integration into the city it calls home, unique and engaging programming, and a plan for redevelopment in and around it that blends history, entertainment, and other opportunities. We will continue to prepare for this community's future, and we are doing that through a series of long-term, comprehensive initiatives that will set us up for long-term population and economic growth. Together with our partners, we are devising detailed plans to address a variety of issues, preparing us not only for the next couple of years, but for the next 20. Those include housing, long-range transportation, Cornhill neighborhood, street safety, and Exit 31 redesign. These are opportunities to secure our future, and I know many of you in this room have been and will be involved in these efforts, and I appreciate your participation. Agriculture continues to be vital to this county and our region. We need to ensure it is strong and growing. We have launched our agricultural sustainability plan to outline ways to strengthen this industry. With Mohawk Valley Edge, we have also begun our dairy processing plant feasibility study to identify our capacity and processing needs for the future. This year, the Board of Legislators, we will continue connecting students to the Boonville Fair by paying for local students to attend the fair for a day. The fair is an introduction for many of these children to agriculture and the first time they've ever been in that type of setting. The program had great success last year, bringing over 350 students to the fair, and we hope to increase that this year. One other area of economic opportunity that exists is the reimagining of the former St. Luke's Hospital campus. With our partners at EDGE, the Town of New Hartford, and Mohawk Valley Health Systems. We are in the process of our reuse and development plan. We have begun neighborhood outreach, public surveys, and meetings with stakeholders, and this public engagement will continue. I encourage anyone interested to go to the Reimagine St. Luke's website to learn more. This is a thorough process, and at the end, we will have a plan that can be released to developers through a request for expression of interest for this property. We do need to continue to hear from everyone and plan accordingly. But what we are seeing in the early stages is cause for a lot of optimism and excitement as we discuss our successes, challenges, and opportunities. We do need to talk about crime. We live in a state that continues to create laws affecting our criminal justice system and our law enforcement agencies. We know that the state needs to make changes. And along with the senator and others, I call on the governor and state legislature to fix bail reform, fix raise the age, fix discovery laws. These laws are dangerous. They're dangerous to law-abiding citizens. They're dangerous to businesses. And they're clearly dangerous to our law enforcement officers who protect us. While we wait for any common sense action from Governor, Leader Cousins, and Speaker Hasty, we must act locally to do what we can. District Attorney Carville and I have talked often recently about the problems prosecutors face when residents will not come forward when they witness these crimes. We need to create deterrence to criminal behavior and assist law enforcement in gathering vital evidence, allowing us to prosecute those who commit crimes in our neighborhoods and commercial corridors. The city of Schenectady has done this very thing, and the results have been dramatic. They've installed over 300 cameras, The extensive network covers most high crime areas. The takeaways from law enforcement and prosecutors have been clear. Cameras act as a cost-effective force multiplier, giving police additional eyes on the ground. They are a visual deterrent to crime that can be used to monitor roadways, an intersection for traffic issues, and help maintain the safety of major community events. I will take executive action, and this government will be placing cameras in as many high crime and high traffic areas as we can. We will make a commitment of $2.5 million. Fights, shootings, illegal drug trade, car thefts, shoplifting, whatever the case may be, if you engage in illegal activity in this county, we will see you and we will arrest you. Enough is enough. Continuing on our crime agenda, the proliferation of illegal smoke and head shops must end. I'm proposing 2 local laws to deal with these situations. I want to be clear. I'm not talking about legally licensed establishments that have taken the proper steps to run their businesses. I'm talking about the blatantly illegal shops that have sprouted out on every corner in every community. We are going to take action to close them down. No longer are you going to be able to just open up and peddle illegal marijuana. We will enact a local law to regulate, license, and create density and distance requirements for these shops that pretend to be selling just paraphernalia when they are actually selling marijuana through a state-created loophole. This will give the county the ability to regulate, fine, and padlock places that are in effect running illegal marijuana dispensaries. Meanwhile, the state budget has given tools to local governments to put an end to this outrageous loophole. Tools we should have had in the first place, but better late than never. The new regulations allow a county to pass a local law to authorize inspections and enforce regulations. The enforcement powers include civil proceedings to bar unlicensed activities, discovery powers to identify owners, sanctions against those violating the law, the ability for the county to collect fees from these enforcement proceedings, and the ability to request police enforcement of permanent injunctions against these unlicensed dispensaries. I will send those authorizing laws to the Board of Legislators and request the necessary resources to implement this in the coming months. And we will shut these places down for good. Youth violence continues to affect our communities and schools every day. These senseless acts happen far too often and impact everyone. First and foremost, we must recognize that prevention is key. Investing in programs aimed at steering our youth away from violence and toward positive programs and alternatives is paramount. Today, I'm proposing the largest investment in our community's youth aimed at preventing violence. We have spent significant funds on facilities in this county, but now we have to invest in the children themselves. Oneida County will create a 4-year, $10 million fund to combat this issue. This fund will invest in programs and initiatives that address youth violence, like what? Like after-school programs and mentoring opportunities, job opportunities, a new gang assessment study, recreation and educational programs like sport leagues, art classes, and academic enrichment programs, to name a few. Now, you may think we have all of those, but we don't. And I'm asking the experts in this community to come forward with their ideas and their programs. They must be data-driven, they must be result-oriented, and they must be sustainable. As I always say, no one person has all the answers. I certainly don't. But together as a community, we can give our children the opportunities to be whatever they want to be. They don't have to resort to gang activity or violence. There will be more programs and places for them to learn, play, grow, and make lifelong community connections, instilling pride in who they are, where they are from, and what they have potential to be, all while having respect for themselves and others. Thank you. I would also like to acknowledge, I forgot my good friend Vicki Stockton, who is giving their sign language today. Please acknowledge her. Thank you. So, an ambitious agenda? Yes, it is. But from this government, you and I would expect no less. How can we do all of this? The simple answer is that we are the government that touches more lives, and we are looked to when the most complex and difficult of circumstances arise. But there really is more to that answer. We must be fiscally responsible. We must be fiscally sound, and we are. The successes that we have achieved would not be possible if we were not. We have not raised the property tax levy in 11 straight years. Think about that. I know that doesn't always resonate. We are running our government at the same taxing level for 11 years. How do we do that? Budgeting that looks beyond 1 year at a time. Strict discipline across all of the cost centers. Investments in projects that generate job growth in visitors and revenue. And a partnership with the very Indian nation on whose ground we sit that has yielded $200 million in revenue to the county in over those 11 years. So this is the point in the speech where the perfunctory, the state of Oneida County is strong, would come. But we're more than that. We're robust. We're solid. And most of all, we are resilient. We're robust because we're bold in all and everything that we do. We're solid because we have built a foundation of strong fiscal management. And we are resilient because we don't let anything stop our progress. I started this address speaking of partnership because none of this can be done alone, as I continue to say. Since I stepped into this job, I have done so with an outstretched hand, asking all who dreamed of a better Oneida County to come with me. Bring me your ideas, your vision, your passion. And you have, and we have, and it shows in all and everything that has been done. But as I said, the story is far from over. We are not done, and there is much more to do. So let's keep doing it together. May God bless you, God bless Oneida County, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you. Please enjoy the reception just outside the doors. Thank you.